All right, welcome everyone. Let's dive right into your mandatory retail safety induction. Whether this is literally your first vocational practicum or you're just stepping into a brand new work-study role, today is all about setting you up for total success. We're going to make absolutely sure you know exactly how to stay safe, stay alert, and really feel empowered in your new roles out there on the retail floor.
So, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's just make sure we're all starting from the exact same baseline. What actually is an occupational hazard? Well, it's not just a wet floor or a heavy box, it's any situation or circumstance at work that puts your health or safety at risk. We're talking about anything that could potentially lead to sickness, injury, or even property damage. It's basically any risk whatsoever to your overall well-being while you are on the clock. It's a really broad definition, but, it's broad for a very good reason. Okay, here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the broad hazard categories, zoom in on specific retail risks, explore proactive safety and training, and finally, wrap up with equipment and emergencies. Let's get moving. All right, Section 1, the hazard categories. Let's quickly map out the broad landscape of workplace dangers so you know exactly what to keep an eye out for. Now, when you hear hazard, you probably think of slipping on a wet floor, right? Well, workplace dangers are actually way broader than just the physical stuff. Sure, we have those physical hazards like slips and loud noises, and safety hazards like, say, moving machinery or exposed electrical wires. But you've also got to watch out for ergonomic risks, think poor posture or repetitive motion, because those slowly take a toll on your body over a long semester. You might even encounter chemical and biological hazards like harmful cleansers or medicinal chemicals. And crucially, this is a big one, work organization hazards. This covers psychological and emotional risks like bullying, discrimination, or workplace violence. Safety is totally comprehensive. It covers your mind just as much as your body.
Moving right along to Section 2, specific retail risks. Let's look at the actual realities you're going to face in a really dynamic retail environment.
Picture this. It's a crazy busy retail shift. You've got massive crowds of people, tons of incoming merchandise, just a lot of moving parts. Specific hazards often hide right in plain sight among the shelves and aisles. We are talking about slips and falls from poor floor maintenance, dangers from improperly lifting heavy stock, or mechanical hazards from things like pallet jacks and sharp box cutters. There's also the real danger of being struck by merchandise falling off a shelf that's been overloaded, hearing loss from loud machinery, and, unfortunately, the very real risk of workplace stress.
I really want to zero in on a massive issue you're going to face out on the floor: overexertion injuries. This happens when excessive physical effort literally inflames your joints and ligaments. It's that unseen physical toll of pushing, pulling, and handling materials without the proper technique over a long, grueling shift. Listen, as students, your body is your most important tool. Do not overwork it blindly. Using poor technique just to save a few seconds, that is a major hazard, and it can literally sideline you for weeks. It's just not worth it.
Actually, let's pause here for a second, because this next point is absolutely crucial. Workplace stress, violence, and bullying lead to very, very real health issues. And these stem from heavy workloads, verbal or physical abuse, and intimidating behavior. Your emotional and psychological safety is just as vital as your physical safety. For you as students stepping into this workforce, please know this. Abuse from anyone in this retail environment, whether that's a customer, a colleague, or a manager, is a serious hazard, and it is completely 100% unacceptable. So, looking at all those somewhat intimidating realities, you're probably asking yourself right now, how do we actually mitigate these dynamic risks together? Like, how do we ensure every single person goes home safe and sound at the end of their shift?
Which brings us to Section 3, proactive safety and training. Let's explore the exact toolkit we've designed to protect you. We basically have a top-down culture of safety, and it's built on 4 main pillars. First up, policy implementation and compliance. Second, training and awareness. Third, proper equipment and working conditions. And fourth, strict emergency, fire, and security measures. This right here is the structural foundation that keeps the floor running smoothly and ensures your practicum is actually a safe one.
So where does this all start? Well, it begins with policy commitment versus risk identification. A company obviously must legally commit to safety policies. But honestly, a policy is just words on a page until we proactively identify the actual hazards in our specific environment and physically build the infrastructure to minimize those risks. Talk is cheap. We have to put it into action.
And to actually activate those policies, we rely heavily on training. As students, your mandatory curriculum covers things like safe lifting procedures, emergency evacuation, fire safety, and exactly how to properly handle hazardous materials. We also focus a ton on ergonomics, like how to maintain proper posture when you're ringing up items at a cash register for hours without completely destroying your back. Plus, we highly encourage taking frequent breaks to avoid fatigue. Your tracked attendance at these safety sessions is absolutely non-negotiable. It is a crucial, literal lifesaver of a tool that we provide to ensure you stay healthy.
All right, moving into our final part, Section 4, Equipment and Emergencies. Let's look at the physical tools and the emergency plans that make up your daily safety net. Out there on the floor, your absolute first line of defense is your gear and your environment. Dependent on your specific role, personal protective equipment, or PPE, might mean steel-toed boots, high-visibility vests, specialized gloves, or even eye protectors. And safety definitely extends to your environment too. Keeping those aisles clutter-free, maintaining really high hygiene standards, and this is huge, never, ever overloading storage shelves past their weight capacity.
But, what happens when things actually go sideways? Well, we have really strict emergency protocols in place. We strictly abide by fire regulations, maintain up-to-date extinguishers, keep our emergency exits totally clear, and obviously stock our first aid kits. To protect you from things like retail crime, violence, or abuse, especially if you're working a late or a solo shift, we utilize security staff, CCTV, and panic buttons. And because modern retail involves a lot of sensitive consumer data, we even enforce strict cybersecurity rules to prevent data breaches. Safety around here truly covers every single angle.
At the end of the day, it really comes down to this core philosophy. Organizations must adopt a top-down culture of safety and implement specific, proactive measures. The organization builds the infrastructure, creates the policies, and buys the gear. But maintaining a truly safe environment day in and day out, well, that relies entirely on your daily commitment to upholding these standards.
Which really leaves us with one final question to wrap up this whole induction. Now that you've got the toolkit, how will you champion a culture of safety on your very first student shift? I want you to really think about how you'll actively apply these protocols, stay incredibly alert, and always look out for your classmates. Welcome aboard, students. Stay safe out there, and let's get to work.